To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective.
Well, hello. How are you? I'm so glad to be with you guys today. Listen, we have a lot of topics to discuss. I mean, a load of topics, because when you give up a title like America is in Peril, you got to be able to substantiate that. And shout out today, first of all, goes to Anton Daniels, because there's a topic that he talked about this morning while I was having my coffee and watching him, as I often do, Millionaire Morning Show, as well as the Anton Daniels Show. And today he was talking specifically about what was going on in Florida as it relates to their insurance situation. And it got me to thinking, usually when they start to attack places or talk about places like Florida, there's a strong chance you're going to see something going on in California that's similar, and or New York or other major areas. Now, you probably are very aware of this, but I was not aware of how many locations were actually losing their insurers. There are a boatload. And obviously, as you know, how we do here, because all of you guys are super sleuths, we put some pieces together. And I venture to say that there is a back story to the whole reason why companies would leave a specific state. Today, we're going to look at New York. Today, we're going to look at California. We're also going to look at Florida. And we're going to look at a few other things that are deteriorating at the core of America right now. I'm not sure if any of you guys have been following the story out of California that we're going to be looking at as well. And that story in California is dealing with a very touchy and I think, very dear to a lot of our hearts. And that is the children that are being trafficked and how they have edited the law or thrown out the opportunity to put these people and hold their feet to the fire that are doing this to children and hold them accountable, to make them actual felons. There is now, they've thrown it out. They said, no, they don't have to be felons. We can just consider the things that they do as misdemeanors. So we're going to be looking at that. We're also looking at how our justice system is deteriorating every single chance that it gets. We all remember the story last year that said, hey, at the top of the year in Illinois, they're going to let bandits of people, just droves of people out free. They're just going to be wandering around free. Well, California and the city of Los Angeles is doing a little bit more than that. If you look at Los Angeles, somebody like 50 Cent, who we're going to be looking at today, literally said, hey, you know what? LA is finished. No bail. You just let them go. Oh, you guys are toast. I have to agree. So we're looking at that. We're also going to look at, let's see, what else do we have to look at AI. Okay, because listen, it's America in peril, right? We're going to take a glance at AI and how it's actually, see, we all thought, a lot of people thought in the very beginning that it was just going to be those individuals who were working in McDonald's or Taco Bell or Burger King because of Flippy, right? Remember Flippy? We talked about Flippy last year. There are a couple of CEOs who have been in a little bit of hot water just recently, because what they have done is decided to let 90% or more now of their workforce go and exchange them for AI. But before we get in all of that, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here. Thank you for your patience in some of the stories that we're going to be looking at, because we are going to dissect them and we are going to have a conversation about them. As soon as we put all of those topics to the chat and to everybody watching, we're also going to drop the links so that you guys can come on board and you can share with me and those who are watching, whether you choose to be on screen or not. you guys can tell me exactly what you think about all of these things, because you know what? Inevitably, we are the people who count, right? Those of us who get up every single day, take care of our families, go to work, do all the stuff that we need to do. We're the people who count. And so your voice matters here on Headlines with a Voice. And I want to make sure that today we listen to exactly what you guys have to say. So in a little bit, I'm going to be dropping that link. But until then, please remember to hit the like button if you like it or dislike it. And also remember that if you are not subscribed, we'd love to have you. Go ahead and hit that subscription as well as the bell notification. In tandem with that, if you have already subscribed, but you keep scratching your head saying, why aren't I getting any of those notifications? Sometimes you may have to unsubscribe and resubscribe, or you may have to double check your settings to make sure that you're still subscribed and that bell notification is still clicked. If you do those things, especially with the like button, it'll make sure that these messages get out to more people and more folks can join us while we're live, as well as when we upload any work here on the channel. All right, so first things first, I do want to take a look at the climate situation, because that is part of the reason why they say the insurance is going a little cattywampus. So let me go ahead and give you guys the screen, as we always do. We're going to look at a couple of stories. And you know what? I know y'all know I'm kooky, so I'm gonna be cracking up, because some of the stuff that they put in some of these stories honestly have me rolling, because a lot of it is a little unbelievable. Let's look at the climate and what it has to do with any of the insurance companies leaving any of these states. According to this story that you can see here on the screen, it says climate shocks are making parts of America uninsurable, and it just got worse. Just got worse. So let's take a gander and let's understand why they say it just got worse. It says the largest insurer in California said that it would stop offering new coverage. It's part of a broader trend of companies pulling back from dangerous areas. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. That's what they say. So if we look at this, it says Christopher Flavel, who has long covered the impacts of climate change in the insurance market. That's the cat that's linked down below in the description. That's actually written the story. But I want to talk to you guys about it. Now, let's get this. All right. So I'm going to go on ahead and start reading about California's insurance market while you guys lovingly look at this photo. All right. There you go. All right. So now, California's insurance market rattled by the withdrawal of major companies. In Los Angeles, two insurance industry giants have pulled back from California home insurance marketplace, saying that increasing wildfires risk and soaring construction costs, those two things, have prompted them to just stop writing new policies in the nation's most populous state. Some of us are probably wondering, how can that even be legal? Well, I guess because they claim they have so many other companies that others could go to. But don't you think that's going to drive the price up? I think so. State Farm announced last week, as of the date of this writing, that it would stop accepting applications for all businesses and personal lines of property and casualty insurance, citing inflation, a challenging reinsurance market, and rapidly growing catastrophe exposure. The decision did not impact personal auto insurance. Okay, so wait a minute, because we got to dissect this as we go. So they're saying that they are not going to do it because of inflation. How many people use their insurance every single year, by show of hands, by the number one? If you use your insurance, meaning every time you turn around, something's going on, you're constantly having to dip into your insurance and have to pay your, deductible because something happened at the house. My point is, how many people are using their insurance to the point that inflation is really bugging them? Because there's a bigger agenda. I tell you that. It's a team effort here with the insurance. Let's continue. Quote, "We take seriously our responsibility to manage risk," State Farm said. "It's necessary to take these actions now to improve the company's financial strength." Y'all are the richest dogs around. I don't get it. I don't get it. I have had insurance for ages and never had to use it at the house. I can count the time that, something small happened where I had to pay for it out of pocket because it was like, well, it's not even worth, the deductible. So just take care of it, right? Not all situations are like that. And yes, I do know that California is one of those areas that have a lot more fires than they need to. But on an average, with all of the money that they're making, does this sentence make any sense? Allstate is another insurance powerhouse, and they announced back in November that it would pause new homeowner, condo, and commercial insurance policies in California to protect the current customers. Quote, the cost to insure new home customers in California is far higher than the price they would pay for policies due to wildfires, higher costs for repairing homes, and higher reinsurance premiums. This is what Allstate said in a statement. And I love the way they just throw a statement out there and don't put the name of the person, so you can't go look at them. So you can't go find out who it was that said it. No, they said it in a statement. All right. So that's what they said. Let's go on so that we can finish up here, because we got a lot of stories to go. California unsettled market aligns with trends across the country in which companies are boosting rates, limiting coverage, or pulling out completely from regions susceptible to wildfires or other natural disasters in the era of climate change. I'm going to keep going. Florida and Louisiana have struggled to keep healthy insurance markets flowing. Extensive damage from hurricanes is the cause there. Premiums are rising in Colorado amid wildfire threats. And an Oregon effort to map wildfire risk was rejected last year because of fears that it would cause premiums to skyrocket. Scientists say climate change has made the West warmer and drier over the last 3 decades and will continue to make weather more extreme and wildfires more frequent and destructive. And in recent years, California has experienced the largest and most destructive fires in the state's history. Some Californian homeowners already are going without insurance, and a shortage of new policies could make it more difficult to buy a home. A state-run pool that serves the insurer of the last resort for many could face pressure as enrollments surge. The state pool, the California Fair Access Insurance Requirements Plan, provides basic fire insurance coverage for properties in high-risk areas when traditional insurance companies will not. Enrollments have jumped in recent years to 272,846 homes in 2022. Quote, we just don't have stable insurance markets, said Senator Bill Dodd, a Democrat from Napa. Napa. We already know who lives up there. That was just a joke. Whose Northern California district has been charred by wildfires. Here's a quote from him. What's happening is a lot of people in my district, and frankly, other districts, are going naked. They have no insurance. So what does that mean? This is me saying this. So what does that mean for those individuals who have to maintain some type of homeowner's insurance to maintain their loans? Do y'all see where this is going? Let's just go, because I'm going to give my commentary. I got to. According to data compiled by the industry-supported Insurance Information Institute, California has more than 1.2 million homes at risk for extreme wildfire, far more than any other state. The number of acres burned in California has grown steadily in recent years as more people are moving into fire-prone areas of the state. The Institute said in a statement on the company departures from California. Here's the rest of the quote. More homes in harm's way, combined with rising costs of repairing or replacing houses, either damaged or lost to fire, leads to increased insured losses. In Colorado, which has been hit by devastating wildfires, insurance premiums have been rising significantly, and some smaller insurance companies have been pulling back from covering properties. A study commissioned by state lawmakers found that 76% of carriers decreased their exposure in Colorado in 2022, leaving the 5 largest insurance companies to dominate the market. Florida has struggled to keep up the insurance market healthy since 1992, when Hurricane Andrew flattened homesteads and wiped out some of the insurance carriers and left many remaining companies fearful to write or renew policies in Florida. Risk for carriers have also been growing as climate change increases the strength of hurricanes and intensity of the rainstorms. Let me come over here and say something to everybody just for a quick second. Here's what I want to say. DARPA. Anyone? Anybody? Anybody? Anyone? There is a control mechanism here that we are completely and conveniently paying for and ignoring. There is the ability to control this. So it's very difficult for me and possibly a lot of other people to bite this apple and not think about the fact that you have control to a certain extent as to what type of weather we have today, sir or madam, because you've got the power. And I ain't talking about that old song back in the day. Sandy Aaron, hey, baby Deborah, hey, Joy, what's up? Y'all got the power. It's the song. Let's get back into it. So they've got the power, and yet we hear the issue. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I just, whenever I see that as the reason, and I remember that I'm paying for this, but I'm not supposed to talk about the fact that I'm paying for it. That's what I also want to say. We're not supposed to talk about the fact that we are paying for it. So we're supposed to do this and do this and do this, because this, and this absolves us from the knowledge of it, or it absolves them from being the ones who did it. I don't know. Well, let's just keep going. It says, growing as climate change increases the strength of hurricanes and intensify and the intensity of rainstorms. Louisiana is in the midst of an insurance crisis exacerbated by hurricanes Delta, Laura, Zeta, and Ida in 2022 and 2021. As claims piled up, companies that wrote homeowners policies in the state went insolvent or left, canceling or refusing to renew existing policies. In California, the loss of large insurers could create more pressure to loosen consumer-minded policies that have held down rates in the state for years. Now, voters approved Proposition 103 in 1988, which allows the state insurance commissioner to reject proposed rate increases and order refunds. That part. It has been credited with saving consumers billions of dollars, but the industry says it places constraints on accurate underwriting and pricing risks. Last year, Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara advanced regulations requiring insurers to give discounts to customers if they followed new standards, like building fire-resistant roofs and creating defensible space around their homes. Before their announcement, State Farm and Allstate both had been seeking significant rate increases. Consumer Watchdog and nonpartisan advocacy group said that State Farm's decision was unlawful. Insurance companies, this is a quote, insurance companies can't just stop selling insurance to consumers in order to make more money for themselves. This comes from Harvey Rosenfeld, the author of Proposition 13 and the founder of the group. He said this in a statement.